Hello students, this is Abir Kumar Kundu here, going to discuss about class 10 biology chapter 6 life process. In the previous few lessons you learned about what is life process and how the life processes are linked with each other. Then you learned about nutrition, which is an anabolic process in which food materials are produced. Then you learned about respiration. Respiration is a catabolic process in which food materials are broken down to produce energy. But these food materials and oxygen which are produced during these processes, they are needed to be transported to different cells where they are needed. So that's why the life process needed, which is called transportation. Here is the definition of the process of transportation. It is a process of movement of substances from their sources to the terminals or the areas where they are actually needed. This is the definition of transportation. What are the things which are going to be transported? First of all, food materials which are produced in the cell, they are needed to be transported. Oxygen which is required for the process of respiration, they are needed to be transported through blood. Carbon dioxide gases which are produced as a metabolic waste, they are needed to be transported back to the respiratory system. From there they are going to be expired out. Excretory products are produced during metabolism, they are needed to be transported to the excretory system. Hormones are directly secreted in the blood, which are needed to be transported also. Water and minerals are transported in plants as well as in living organisms from one place to another place. So these are the things to be transported. So for this transportation they need medium. Like in plants you can see water is a medium through which this transportation is done. But in living organisms, the animals, blood and lymph, these two things are there by which this transportation occurs. So to sum up, the objective of transportation is to movement of the biomolecules from the source to the different places by which the systems run properly. Now we are going to discuss about the blood circulatory system. Here you can see that blood circulatory system is mainly made up of three constituents: blood, blood vessels and heart. Heart is the pumping organ which pumps the blood from the place of origination from there to different parts of the body through the blood vessels. But before that we are going to discuss about blood first. What is blood? From your previous knowledge of class 9 you know very well that blood is a liquid connective tissue. In our body about 5 to 6 liter of blood is present almost. It is a little alkaline due to the plasma actually. Blood is mainly made up of two parts: plasma, blood plasma, and blood corpuscles or blood cells. Blood plasma, it is having a alkaline pH of 7.4. It is a pale yellowish colored fluid which constitutes about 55% of blood. It is pale yellow in color. Its constituents are 92% water and 8% nutrients, different salts, excretory products, hormones. Heparin. Heparin is a chemical which helps the blood not to clot when they are flowing through the blood vessels. It also contains WBCs. You must be hearing about plasma transfusion in the news media or reading about this in the newspaper. This is the only way which is proved to be the best way to treat COVID-19. From the survivors of this COVID-19, this plasma is they are taking, and after that this plasma is being transfused to the persons who are suffering from COVID, so that the WBCs can produce the antibodies to fight against COVID-19. Now about the blood cells, it constitutes 45% of blood. Blood corpuscles are of three types: RBC, WBC and platelets. RBCs are also known as erythrocytes. Erythrocytes contains a very important pigment that is called hemoglobin. It is an iron containing pigment due to which blood is red, and these RBCs remain in our blood for about 120 days. This is their lifetime. 4.5 to 5 million per ml of blood. It is there. These numbers of RBCs are present. It carries oxygen. How? They are forming a compound, oxyhemoglobin, by which they are transporting oxygen to different cells. They are enucleate because they do not have any nucleus. Remember that RBCs are the only animal cells without any nucleus. They look like this biconcave shape they are having, and they do not have any nucleus. These RBCs are produced in the bone marrow, and they are destroying in the spleen and liver. That's why liver or spleen is called the graveyard of RBC. Next we are going to discuss about the WBCs. WBCs are very important cells. They are also known as leukocytes. They remain in our blood. They can survive here 12 hours to few days. There are two types again, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Agranulocytes are not having any granules. There are two types, monocyte and lymphocyte. These lymphocyte WBCs produce antibodies, and monocyte, these WBCs are actually eating the foreign bodies, and thus they are forming the immunity in our body. Granulocytes are of three types. They are having, the nucleus is lobed, and they are having granules in their cell. There are three types, neutrophil, basophil and eosinophil. These are the three granulocytes. So their main function to give the immunity to our body. Then platelets, this is the third type of blood cells in our body. They are also known as thrombocytes. How much they are amount? 0.15 to 0.45 millions per ml of blood. They are mainly helping in the blood clotting process. Blood clotting or blood coagulation, here is the scheme how blood coagulation is done. When there is an injury or leakage in the blood capillaries, there platelets come there, and then platelets are ruptured. Then tissues are having this thromboplastin due to the rupturing of platelets. Here this thromboplastin is a protein which converts prothrombin to thrombin. In this process, calcium ions and vitamin K are required very much. This thrombin again transforms soluble fibrinogen, it is also a protein, to insoluble fibrin, which forms a yellowish sheet over the areas of injury. In this way, blood clots. So here we end our discussion, the first lesson on the transportation.